Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Rakestraw Boys. My brother just got back from vacation in Florida over Memorial Day. He had a good time. I'll show y'all a little bit of that. On his way back, he stopped into Bass Pro Shops, walked up to the ammo counter, and he bought the cheapest 308 ammo on the shelf. He dropped this on my table and said, why don't we test it? So today, that's exactly what we're doing. Herter's big game, 308 Winchester, 180 grain soft point, 2620 feet per second. Bass Pro's budget option. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I had some expectations going into this. What I found at the range surprised me, and not in a good way. Let's get into it. Okay, so before we go to the range, let me give you some context on what we're actually shooting here. 180 grain is on the heavier end of the 308 spectrum. Most hunters are going to reach for the 150 grain or the 165 grain. This is 180. And at 2620 feet per second, that's on the lower end of what you would expect from a 180 grain load. Most premium options push 2650 up to 2750 feet per second. It's a soft point bullet designed for deep penetration on big game. USA made, and based on the construction, it's basically Bass Pro's version of a Winchester soft point. That's the lane it's in. On paper, the numbers look reasonable. We're talking roughly 2743 foot-pounds at the muzzle. That sounds good. Hold on to that number, because what happened at the range is going to make that number look a lot less impressive. All right, y'all, so we're out here at the range. My brother bought the ammo, so it's only right that he comes out and helps me run it through its paces. Standard test, 3-shot group at 100 yards. It is literally the same exact thing that I do for every round that I test on this channel. My brother stepped up for the first group.
I go profile over? No.
Shot number 3. What do you think?
Let's go see how that turned out.
So we're hitting way low. So let's go back and redo that real quick.
So you see a mark?
Still no mark.
Huh?
Still no mark.
I'll aim top right.
Top right.
I think I'm shooting high left, or low left, so if I'm shooting high right, it should be on paper. Yeah.
Are we actually on paper now?
Yeah, we're on paper now. That's a no for the hurt toes.
How bad?
That's bad.
We talking like worse than the 150s on the federal premium? That was the worst group I've ever seen. I can't even zoom in.
Keep in mind, I'm aiming here every shot. First, second, third, way over yonder.
Accuracy. I'm gonna say, I'm not even gonna shoot a 3-shot group.
No.
That's the worst I've ever seen. Accuracy test is over. That is a failure. 8 inches. We stopped it right there. There was no point in continuing. Out of every rifle, every round, every ammunition that I have tested on this channel, this is the worst accuracy I have ever seen. The first group we couldn't even find on paper. The second one came in at 8 inches. That's 2 data points telling the same story. That's not my brother, y'all. That's the ammunition. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. Water jugs, 10 yards out. We're looking for energy dump, expansion, and I'm gonna try to catch the bullet. All right, time for the hydro expansion test. We come back to the house because it got really hot. So now I'm just on the bipod, and we're gonna see if I can't make some water bottles disappear. So let's see. 3, 2, 1. Well, it did something. Now here is where it gets interesting. That bullet punched completely through. At 10 yards, that bullet hit it and it kept going. Guys, it did what it was supposed to do. It blew a giant hole in the first bottle, and it left a bunch of like lead chunks at the bottom of this one. But it penetrated on through the second one too. As you could see, there's the penetration off the backside. It was facing this way, so that's what the bullet looked like when it come in. And this is what the bullet looked like when it come out. So I really don't have a recovered bullet to show y'all, so I can't really tell y'all what the expansion was. The only thing that I've got for the expansion is what the front of this looks like. I mean, it obviously expanded. So there was some energy dump up front, and this was about 10 yards. So a lot of energy dump up front, and there's some penetration after that. So I will give it an okay for that. But honestly though, me and my brother are a little disappointed about the accuracy test. That's the worst accuracy we've ever tested in a rifle, period. Hey, I hit that one. Only had done that the first time. Now, here's what I can tell you. There was a significant energy dump right at the entry point. You could see that displacement. It absolutely started doing something on contact, but it did not stop inside the water. Full penetration. Kept going. So I cannot show y'all an expanded bullet today. I cannot confirm what the mushroom looks like. And honestly, that kind of bothers me because that's part of the data. But what I can tell you is the bullet penetrated deep. That's what 180 grain saw points are designed to do. Now, whether that's a good or a bad thing, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let's break this down. I want y'all to have every bit of context before I give you my opinion. My brother was shooting a Savage Axis. It wasn't an Axis 2, and it wasn't an Axis XP. It was the original OG version of the Savage Axis. It is chambered in 308. On top, he has a Vortex Crossfire 2, a 3x9x40. Working my way down, it has a 90-degree bolt throw on it. It has a pretty smooth bolt on it because Jeremy has used this rifle for nearly, by my estimation, I believe this rifle is about 8 years old and it's taken a lot of deer in the field. It has a standard safety. He's done a little bit of trigger work on it, and he's got it down to about a 2.5 to 3 pound trigger on it. And it's got a fixed stock. There's really not much you can do for a cheek rest on it. It's a standard setup, nothing exotic. It's the same rig that I use for any 308 testing that I do for this channel, so it's really not the rig. This is 100% the ammunition. Now, on to the accuracy. We couldn't find it on paper on the first group, and then we found an 8-inch group on the second try. I've been doing this long enough to know when a gun shoots bad and when the ammunition shoots bad. This was the ammunition. My brother confirmed it. This is not a fluke. It's what you would call a pattern that you notice in the field. I know that I'll be real nitpicky when it comes to groups sometimes. I'll own up to that, but we're not even talking about nitpicky territory here. We couldn't even find the first 3 bullets on paper. That is a different conversation entirely. Now, here's where I want to be fair to the bullet. It's a 180 grain soft point. It is built to penetrate. That's the job. Deep penetration on large game. And it did exactly that. Punched clean through both of my water jugs at 10 yards. That energy dump on entry was telling me that it was starting to expand. But I couldn't confirm the mushroom shape because I couldn't catch it. I want to be totally transparent here about that. I'm not going to tell y'all something that I don't know myself. What I can say is this. If you put the bullet on the right spot on a deer, it will penetrate. The question is whether you can put it on the right spot on a deer with accuracy like we got today. The numbers: 2620 feet per second, 180 grains, roughly 2743 foot-pounds at the muzzle. That's actually impressive energy. On paper, this looks like a very capable hunting round. But here's the thing, y'all. The numbers don't matter if it don't group. You can have all the foot-pounds in the world. If your accuracy is this inconsistent, those numbers mean nothing in the field. All right, so here's my honest take. 5 categories. Let's run them. 1, recoil. Standard 308. Nothing unusual here. There's really no big issue with the recoil. 2, accuracy. This was the worst I have ever tested in the history of this channel. Period. Couldn't find it on paper on the first group. Got 8 inches on the second group. That's 100% a no from me. 3, water displacement. Full penetration. Energy jump at entry, but couldn't catch the bullet. The penetration is there, but the expansion data, I can't give you what I don't have. 4, ballistics numbers. They're impressive on paper. 2743 foot-pounds at the muzzle. A 180 grain soft point moving at 2620 feet per second is not a weak round. The engineering is not the problem. And then number 5, accessibility. This is where I believe the Herters get a little bit of credibility. Bass Pro Shelf, cheap, and easy to find. If you're a target shooter that just needs to put rounds down range and you don't necessarily care about the group size, there's nothing wrong with the bullets then. I would say that that is a perfectly viable use for this ammunition. But here's my bottom line, y'all. Would I shoot a deer with this ammo? Absolutely not. And I want to be clear why. It's not because this bullet won't kill a deer. A 180 grain saw point moving at 26-20 feet per second is absolutely going to clobber a deer if you hit it in the right spot. I honestly believe that. The problem is that the accuracy tells me that you might not be able to put it in the right spot. I'm buying a hunting license. I'm sitting in the blind for hours in the cold. And when that moment comes, I'm not gambling on ammunition that I couldn't find on paper on my first attempt at a group. I'm just not. And that's the honest truth. If you're running budget ammo and you're looking for something that actually groups, stay tuned. We've got a lot more tests coming your way. And I'll show you what performs and what doesn't. Leave a like and leave a comment down below. Have any of y'all ever tried Herters? What was your experience? Y'all help a man out. Guys, as always, we hope that you enjoyed this video. There's a lot of things coming down the line, so stay tuned until the next episode of the Rex Brawl Boys. I guess until then, I reckon we gone!